Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Gina and let's talk about plants. So I hope you guys are all doing well out there. We're doing good. You can see Nora. Maybe you can see a little bit over here. Nora's here. Here she is. She just had to be in the room with me today and we are doing great. And today, you want to come here? Nope, she's going on the ground. So today I'm coming at you with a favorites video. So this is my favorite plants and planty things for the month of March 2024. So lately it seems like every month it's been all plants. So actually this month, well, by the time you watch this, technically, it's going to be the new month. It's going to be April. But I am filming this in March. There's just not enough days in the week and weeks in the month to get everything I want to do on here for you guys. But so yeah, so anyway, so technically I guess we're in April, but these are all my favorite plants or planty things from March. And it's not just all plants this month. It's actually another thing also. It's a planty thing, but it's not plants. I mean, sort of. I mean, there are plants involved. Anyway, so let's get started. All right, I had to go let Nora out of the room because she really wanted out of here. So first off, I have a list, and actually the first thing on the list, we're just gonna go down my list, is right behind me, and I need to grab it. And let me grab it here. And I love this. I love this plant so much. So, do you remember? This here is my brand new-ish. I acquired this in the month of March. This is a Variegated Syngonium chiapens. And this came in my order from, I believe the name is PlantStop US. They sent me some plants and I did an unboxing for you guys, and if you remember, the unboxing didn't go like super well, but this plant, this was one that arrived in pretty good shape, and the Monstera albo also arrived in pretty good shape. It was just the Hoyas that I got in that order had some issues. But I don't think I've lost any of the Hoyas. They are rehabbing, a bunch of them, all of them are rehabbing, but I didn't lose any of them. I don't think. So anyway, this one, Syngonium chiapens variegated, has just been, I have been loving this plant so much. So my plan all along was to have it growing on the trellis, the pink trellis here behind me. But as you can probably see, this is quite full. And let me kind of just pan over here. It is very full, as you can see, quite full. So I have to adjust this better. I had to come up with because I really wanted on this trellis. I really wanted growing on this trellis. So I had to come up with a compromise. And behind me, it was sitting on this table back here. And I did have to remove, I had a regular Syngonium chiapens rooting in water that has been back there for the longest time. That thing has needed to be potted up for forever. Finally did that. So where that was sitting, this is now in that spot. All right, so this has just it's been doing really well in that spot. It's been there for maybe 2 weeks, maybe. And in that time between moving it into this room and now, look at this beautiful new leaf. It's not unfurled all the way yet, as you can see. I don't want to mess with it because I don't want to mess it up, but look at how beautiful that new leaf is. I am just infatuated with this plant. I just love it, really happy with it, and I'm just really excited to watch it grow this summer, this spring and summer. I don't know about you guys, I'm sure you guys are noticing the explosion of growth with your plants. Some of them, probably not all of them yet, but I have just been seeing so much growth, so much new growth, and the blooms that are starting, the Hoyas that are getting ready to bloom, and it's just such an exciting time of the year. I just love it. I love spring. I never used to be a spring lover. When I was a kid, I never liked spring. I loved summer and I loved fall, but I don't know if it's because I'm so into plants now, and spring is just like, it's the rebirth, it's the start of just all the plants growing. I'm sure that's what it is. And I just love spring. It's like, I always used to say fall is my favorite season, but spring is up there now. It may even be my favorite, except when it hails. I don't like the hail, the storms and the hail. No thank you for that, but I don't know, I just love spring. Anyway, number 1 on my list of favorites for the month of March is the Syngonium chiapens. Gorgeous plant. So, I just feel so lucky to have this plant. All right, next plant on my list is a Hoya. Yay, Hoya. I need to talk more about Hoyas again. We're not talking enough about Hoyas. So the next one, the next favorite, this is the Hoya Croniana Black. And okay, so I was talking about the explosion of growth in the spring. Seriously, you guys, I have no idea when this happened. It's just like, it was not like this. Like all of this right here. This was not here. I don't think it had to have been there last month. I don't know, but it's just recently, I think it's just had a huge growth spurt, like in the last few weeks, in the month of March. It's just done this craziness right here. This is all new. And it's gonna bloom. I don't wanna knock it off, but you see that? I'm trying to find a good spot for it. Right on my nose. Look at my nose. You see that? That's a peduncle. It's gonna bloom. So I'm just really enjoying this plant. This is one of those Hoya Croniana Black. I feel like it's sort of an underrated begonia. I think it's it gets this beautiful, dark, moody foliage. And I don't know, I'm surprised that they don't command a higher price, honestly. Look at all these new little baby leaves on this plant. Hopefully you can see all those. So much new growth on this plant. It's pretty crazy. So I actually, if you don't have a Croniana Black and you want to add one to your collection, I have one in my shop, thepinktrellis.com. pinktrellis.com. You can go to my shop. I do have one in there available, at least at the time of filming this video, it was available. And yeah, I think I have extras. I don't just have that one. Although I have been selling some on Facebook Marketplace, and I have sold a couple on there, so I may be down. I may not have too many of these left. So if you are looking for a Hoya Croniana, or you didn't realize that you really love the Hoya Croniana until seeing, look how beautiful black that is. It's like dark green and black. So if you're now realizing that, hey, I would like to have one of these in my collection, go to my shop. I do have one in there. So hopefully it's still there when you go to the shop. So yeah, I just love this plant. I'm going to have to obviously do something about trellising it up, but I'm just gonna let it be for now. Yeah, I'm just gonna let it be. Let it just do this. This just cracks me up, this craziness. Classic Hoya right here. Classic Hoya behavior, running wild. So yeah, number 2 on my favorites list, Hoya Croniana Black. All right, so the next one is a ginormous plant. And I want to bring it into this room, but I don't think, I mean, I could do it, but it would be such a chore to bring it in this room. So yeah, you're just going to get a video of it. So here you're looking at, this is my Philodendron gloriosum. And this has been in front of this window for a few months. It was all through the winter. I can't even remember when I first put it over here. It might have been in March or in the fall. And it's been loving this spot. And the reason I know it's loving this spot is all the new growth that I'm getting out of it. And not to mention, this plant flowered for me. I didn't even know that philodendrons flowered, but it has this bulbous thing here. And when I first saw it, I thought, oh, it's getting a new leaf. And then I was like, no, that's not a leaf. And then, because it's bulbous. It's not like a leaf. And then it has actually opened. I think it's starting to, I think it's done. I only saw it open like one day, I think, or 2 days, but it doesn't like open like a big flower. It's just like a white, I don't know. It looks like it looks, but then it has like a white thing in it. So it's very interesting. So I don't know if maybe it's supposed to open and mine never opened, but anyway, I did see the white. I did see the white on it, the inside white part. And it's just so neat. It's just very cool. And I love just how big the leaves are on this plant. And it just brings me so much joy. I sit there every morning, eat my breakfast, and just look at this plant and just love it. So Philodendron gloriosum. This plant I actually picked up at Lowe's. I think it's probably been a year, and it was like under $10 at Lowe's. I was so excited when I found it. It was in January. And the reason I remember this is because it was January 2023, and we went and picked it up, or we were at Lowe's, my son and I think. It was just the two of us. We were at Lowe's. I saw it. I picked it up. And the reason I remember exactly January 2023, because it was like a week later, we all came down with COVID. We all had COVID, and for the first time. And so yeah, that's why I remember. So this is my COVID plant. I picked it up. I don't think we got COVID at Lowe's. I'm sure we didn't. I'm almost positive we picked it up at Trader Joe's. So yeah, even to this day, whenever we go into Trader Joe's, I always wear a mask. Always wear a mask, all of us, because I'm pretty positive. Because it's just so crowded. It's like small. Trader Joe's is such a small store, and there's always tons of people. So just to be safe, put that mask on. And yeah. Anyway, so this is number 3. Philodendron gloriosum. Love it. All right. I just had to take a little break there because I just sold a Philodendron fuzzy petiole plant off of Facebook Marketplace. Someone just came and picked it up. So, I have my shop, thepinktrellis.com, where I do sell plants, but I've mentioned I've been selling locally, Facebook Marketplace, and those are plants that are mostly bigger plants. Like I've been selling a lot of Syngonium, Philodendron. Yeah, these are plants, bigger plants that I'm just not like really keen on shipping because they're big plants, really big plants, and I'd have to have a really big box, and yeah, just not into that. So I think going forward, my shop is mostly going to be Hoya and Discidias, smaller plants. So anyway, I don't know why I'm telling you that, probably because I just had to stop what I was doing and go sell that plant. So, okay, next, this is super exciting. Okay, this is the non-plant plant. This is the planty thing. There are plants in it. It's right behind me. What are we at? Number 4 on my favorites for March is my entire Milsbo wide cabinet And I just recently, there it is, there she is. I just recently redid this cabinet and I turned it into my begonia cabinet. So I'm filming this on Sunday. And my videos come out on Sundays, and I was just read a comment from Paul, and you're asking if I could go through and show you all the begonias in the cabinet. So I am going to do like a begonia collection video before too long. My last video I just did was the Steve's Leaves unboxing, and let me just say I have placed another order with Steve's Leaves since that video. So that video came out today, actually. Steve's Leaves unboxing video came out today. And I ordered plants on Friday because they have their new plant drops on Friday, and they always have a special. And I was like, I said to myself, the next time they have another begonia sale or like discount on begonias, I'm gonna buy. Well, it turns out it was Steve's birthday, I guess, and they were giving 15% off of everything. I believe everything, yeah, 15% off everything in the store. So I got, but I only got 2 more, I think. I only ordered 2 more begonia because, as you can see, this is quite full, is quite filled, and you know, these plants are gonna grow, and it's just going to get, you know, even less space in there. So anyway, I am going to do a begonia collection. I am not going to go through each begonia with you today. You can see them here. You know, sneak peek, I guess. But what we're talking about, what we're focusing on right now is just, it's the Milsbo wide cabinet is one of my favorites because, well, it has begonias in it. And I'm just loving it. So if you remember, possibly you remember previously, I had a grid system back there, and I had some Hoyas on it, and they had like there was like little trays attached to it, and I had plants on that, and it was filled with, and I had my alocasias and my anthuriums in the cabinet. Well, those are now all but one is down they're in my grow tent. They're living in the grow tent. So that's their new spot. So this is just entirely begonia, and I'll take you in. We'll go in for a closer look, but I have new shelves I picked up here. 2 new shelves, diagonal corner shelves. One is a little lower than the other one, and it's just filled with beautiful begonias. I just love it so much. So let's go in, let's take a closer look. All right, so I don't want to open it up. And I don't want to open it up because look at that beautiful 84% humidity currently in there. And I have this plant over here, in this back corner, back here, this one right here. This one, it's a newer one. It is the Begonia bipinnatifida. I don't know how to pronounce it. But that plant right there is like a super fussy. It's a super fussy plant, and it's fairly new. It's still acclimating. It kind of had a rough time in shipping, and I just want to keep that humidity level up for that plant. So yeah, I don't want to open the cabinet, but as you can see here, this is one of the shelves I picked up. So I picked up 2 different style shelves off of Etsy. Now this one here was a little bit more expensive because it came with these things right here, these like shelf pieces. Like Ikea gives you those, like, but they're shorter. They're like this. Okay, where is it? Right there. So Ikea provides those. So this is basically the same thing, only bigger. And then their acrylic shelves here have holes in them that correspond with the holes on this white piece here. And you can take a zip tie, which I've done, and you can attach it. You can attach the shelf, this shelf, to this white thing here. And that is to keep the shelf from like falling off easily. Like if you bump it, it's not going anywhere, it's gonna stay in place. So I purchased that one first, and then I decided that, you know what, I kind of want 2 shelves in this cabinet. So then, aren't they just gorgeous? Beautiful begonia. Anyway, so I decided to get another shelf, but this one is kind of expensive. I can't remember exactly how much it was, but it was $20 more than this one I found. But the difference is this one does not have those little hooks here, so you can easily bump it. It could easily fall, but you just have to be really careful. So yeah, just really, really loving this cabinet. This is probably my favorite thing, my most favorite thing of the month, of all the things I'm showing you. Just very much enjoying it. My Ikea Milsbo wide cabinet. All right, so besides converting this Milsbo cabinet to all begonia, I actually did the same thing with my Milsbo tall. It's pretty much, the majority of it is begonia. And I had Hoyas in there as well on a grid system, and I removed all those Hoyas and took them to the grow tent. They're living in the grow tent. And those Hoyas actually were all in pon, and I converted those all to soil. So, and it's been about a week since I've done that. So I'm still like keeping my fingers crossed that those are going to transition well into the soil, into the grow tent. So you'll see that. You'll see it when I do my grow tent tour, which I'm planning to do very soon. I know I've mentioned it previously, and we'll see, it might be the next video I do. It's the grow tent tour. Probably, most likely it will be. All right, so yeah, so currently my Milsbo cabinets are begonia cabinets for the most part. This one entirely, the other one for the most part. So all right, we are down to the final favorite of March, and it is a plant, and it is, and I have to say, it is another, okay, so you guys know I've been super infatuated with begonias lately. It's not the only plant I've been super infatuated with. You know what, I know I said this before, but when I started off this year, and I think I said, I don't know if I did a video that was like plants, wish list plants for the year. I can't remember if I did one like that this year. But at the time when I made the video, I really didn't have a wish list. I didn't know that I was going to be adding so many new begonia to my collection. And in addition to adding so many begonia to my collection, I also have been a bit obsessed with anthuriums. So I guess this is the year of, so far, this is the year of begonia and anthurium. So far. It's only March or April when you're seeing this. Yeah, we're still early in the year, so I am sure I'll be adding more Hoyas to my collection too. But anyway, I think this is the year of begonia and anthurium. All right, so the next one on my list, the final favorite of the month, is an anthurium, and it's right over my shoulder, and it is the Anthurium clarinervium, which is, you know, it's a pretty common anthurium. Whoa. It's a little bit wet in there. I'm gonna grab this. All right, okay. I had to go dry my hand off because I just got my hand all wet, and you know, if it was just water, that would be fine, but it's not just water because there is some Azomax in that water, and I don't like getting that on my skin. Even though it's supposedly safer, I just don't like it. I don't want it on there. So anyway, This is my Anthurium clarinervium. So I said that all of my Anthurium have now gone to the grow tent except for one, and it is this plant right here. Isn't it adorable? It's so darn adorable. It's got a brand new leaf on the way. And I love the way this dark green foliage looks against like my new dark green wallpaper, which, let me just say, I am so enjoying this. So enjoying the wallpaper, I should say. It's just so kind of moody, but yet at the same time, it's like, it's fun and quirky and whimsical. And I just love this so much. I love the way the green plants look in front of the green wall. If you are considering painting a wall that has a lot of plants, don't be afraid to use green as your backdrop, because and a darker green, because I don't know, you would think that the plants would get lost, like you wouldn't be able to see them as well, but actually it just, I feel like it enhances the plants. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but anyway, yeah. And the darker the green of the plant, the better, I think. So anyway, back to our favorite plant. So this is Anthurium clarinervium, a quite common, lesser expensive Anthurium. And I picked this one up from the Green Escape. I looked it up. I picked it up. When was it? It was last year. It's been a year. It was either, I think it was March of last year. It was early in the year, early 2023. It was either January, February, or March. I can't remember now, but so this is a year-old plant. And when I got it, it was just a little starter. And if you've ever picked up starter plants from the Green Escape, or any like seedling starter plants, that's what this was. And this is what it has become in just 1 year. And I have always been a big fan of the clarinervium. The clarinervium was my very first Anthurium I ever picked up. And the sad thing is, when I was looking to see, I got it on Etsy. When I went back to go see when I got it, like how long I've had this plant, I searched my purchases, and I looked at all the Anthurium I have purchased. And in 2020, I got my first Anthurium. And I think actually my first Anthurium I picked up was a Variegated. But then I also got the clarinervium. And I was looking at the prices in 2020. My gosh. I can't believe I did this. Actually, I paid $145 for a Variegated. And just a plain Variegated, not like a fancier one, like the dark form. I really want the dark form. That is on my list right now, my wish list, Anthurium Variegated dark form. Really want one of those. And also the clarinervium, I paid like over $100 for a clarinervium in 2020. It was like $130. I think it was close to that. It was around that, $130, which is insane when you think about it now. Just the prices, how much the prices have changed. It's great. I'm glad that it's so much cheaper now. But anyway, yeah, I'm getting off track. So I've just been very much enjoying this plant. It's a super hardy, easy Anthurium. If you don't have Anthurium, you want to get into Anthurium, do this one. Do the clarinervium first, and get some experience with it, and then try some of the others. But yeah, I just love it. It's just so cute. Look at that adorable heart shape. Just love it. And this was just tiny little starter plant last year, and this is what it's done in 1 year. This plant brings me so much joy, I can't even tell you. I'm just so obsessed with anthuriums, so you'll be getting an anthurium collection video this year too, and I'll show you all my new anthuriums. I've gotten quite a few. So yeah, the final one, number 5 on my list, Anthurium clarinervium. All right, so that is all of my favorites for the month of March 2024, and I hope you enjoyed seeing those. But before we go, I thought we could play my new favorite thing. What is your favorite? Which is your favorite? What is your favorite plant? So when we do this, I show you 2 plants. I've got one in my hand right here. I don't know what I was thinking. I chose 2 really difficult to handle plants. I made it difficult for myself. But I'm going to show you 2 plants, and you're going to tell me which one you prefer, which one is your favorite, which one you like the most. And you let me know in the comments, and then I will add them up, and I will tell you in the next video which one won, which one was the favorite. All right, so number 1. Actually, they're both Hoyas. I'm putting 2 Hoyas against each other, and they're actually the same, not species, because Hoya is the species, right? Hoya, I don't know. I always get that confused. Anyway, they're both Hoyas, and they're the same type of Hoya, but one is normal green and the other one is variegated. And you tell me which one you prefer. All right, first off, we have Hoya carnosa compacta, the plain green form. And this one happens to be blooming. Look at that. So I knew it was getting ready to bloom because yesterday I saw this. And yesterday it wasn't opened all the way like that. It was totally closed, but now there's a few of those that are open. And then when I was just pulling this down to show you guys, I saw this whole beautiful bloom right there. So that's Hoya carnosa compacta. This is the green, just the plain green. And then we have the Hoya carnosa compacta variegated. So I'm curious, which one do you guys prefer? Which is your favorite? The plain green or the variegated? You let me know in the comments what you prefer. This is probably going to be kind of a hard choice for you guys, I'm thinking. I might get some complaints that this was difficult to choose. But I think the variegated in the past, I know for sure, it went for more. It was more expensive. Like with most of these, this is a workout. This is heavy. So in the past, the variegated was more expensive. It probably is still like that. Like with most plants, the variegated is always more expensive than just the plain green. But let me know in the comments which one you prefer. Now, I have a preference, but I don't want to say what my preference is because I don't want to influence your voting. I'm going to set that on my leg. Set that one on my leg. They're really heavy. So yeah, let me know in the comments. Next video, I'll let you know what the results were, and I'll let you know which one is my favorite of the 2. So, yeah. All right, so I got those put back. Boy, that was, yeah, I had to get some help with that. So, it was a workout. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed seeing my March 2024 favorites, my favorites of the month, both plants and planty things. Love it. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps my channel to get found on YouTube, which is not an easy task. And if you enjoy this, and if you enjoy learning about plants, seeing lots of plants, hit that subscribe button. Yeah, I would really appreciate it, and it would really help me out. So thank you guys so much. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.